we're very excited to see how it's received. I'm quite confident anyone that loved our previous track will dig this one too. It's not miles away, but it is a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more experimental. Is Testaments the Gathering. That one I just attribute to my vocal style. It was probably the first really heavy album I fell in love with back in the day.
Hey, it's Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by...
my name's Sean. I'm from the Melbourne, Australia metal band in Malice's Wake. Thanks for having me.
How excited are you then waiting for our album release in May? It's way off yet still, isn't it?
Yeah, we are keeping busy. We're in the middle of pressing vinyls, doing CDs and all the bullshit, so I think it'll come quicker than I'm ready for.
Excellent. So what were we digging into when you made The Profound Darkness?
What was I digging into? I don't know, as in, what was I listening to, records?
Like, what sort of influenced the album and the direction you've gone in?
Yeah, we I think over the years, our fifth album, and I think influence-wise, just gotten more and more into old school death metal as things have gone by. We started as quite a, I guess, traditional thrash band that was heavily influenced by melodic death, but yeah, over the years, I don't know, especially me and the drummer, just slowly became more and more about Morbid Angel and your old school Deicide, and yeah, I think it's closer to that sort of school of music than we've ever been, but it's important to us that we retain our own sense of identity as well, and just bring what feels like us to the table too. As far as like things I was listening to personally, I discovered a band called Aeon. I'm not even sure where they're from. They had this sick album called God Ends Here, and yeah, just the whole package of that album, man. It had everything. And if your listeners haven't, checked that out, it's highly recommended. They're European, I'm pretty sure, but that is a fun record.
They are, and I can't think now. I think they're on Metal Blade. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I believe so.
Have I not interviewed them? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're on the Metal Blade, man. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what was the moment then that made you realise, this is possibly our darkest record yet?
It's just, I think, the atmosphere of the sound itself. Always find the final nail in the coffin of how a record feels comes when you lay down the vocals. Mm-hmm. And something about the overall theme is, exploration of the afterlife and what happens to you, when you die, which none of us know, which is where some of the playful imagination comes from. But I was tempted with this time around just to use a lot more of my almost black metal shrieks mixed with your death metal growls, and the whole thing just had this atmosphere that felt it felt quite tangibly evil, which to me that's always an exciting thing where you sort of feel like you tap into something otherworldly, and at some point, especially during the vocals, that felt like a real thing. But I suppose the other element is also the drums. My brother, Mark, who's our drummer, he just loves black metal, old school death metal, and the drums he's laid down. He even wrote a few of the songs drums first on this album. It just brings an inherent darkness anyway when you're playing blast beats at a billion miles an hour, and your doubles are going too. So I think that's kind of where that feeling of imposing darkness has come from.
The Numb to Paradise, which has had massive views and has had rave reviews there, 14k in 4 days, I think it was.
Yeah, it's up to
That's amazing.
It's up to maybe 17 now, and it's weird for us because, it's very hard with your algorithms and whatever you put a track out.
Tell me about it.
You can put all this like love into a song or an album, or we even did a documentary on one of our previous albums, and I spent weeks on this fucking thing. It came out really good. Took all this time editing, interviewing, and I think that still hasn't cracked 1,000. It's
sickening, isn't it?
It's a quality production too. For us, we sort of put it out through. It was featured on another YouTube channel, which has gone really well, but through our and native video, we hadn't even pushed that link, and all these views started coming through, so it was really quite exciting. We've got all these new subscribers from it. So
Yeah.
in the lead up to releasing a new album, it's a really promising, exciting thing. And it was rare for us. We haven't seen it take off like that before, but it was great, you know. So it's,
You've hit the algorithm right. You've hit the algorithm right, or something, man. Honestly, yeah, it is difficult. I mean, there's so many. There is some fantastic bands from Australia, and I mean, I have interviewed a fair few from down there. Ironstone, I think they're from down your way, Melbourne.
Oh, I know the name Ironstone, but I'm not as familiar as I probably should be.
I think it's like a town just outside of Melbourne, and that's what they're named after.
Yeah, great.
Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard. I don't think they're even going still because of COVID and shit. It's loads, man. Mammoth. You know, so there's some really cracking bands down there.
It's a really great music scene too, man. We especially Melbourne. I've moved a little bit more regional, which is about an hour and 20 from Melbourne in the last year, but we sort of grew up through the Melbourne scene, and we were lucky to play so many great bands, and not just the bands, the people come out and they love live music, so it's quite easy to get a crowd out to a show, and the vibe's awesome, and people seek out new music, new bands. It's a real privilege, because some places it's hard to it can be isolated, or the scene's a little bit sort of dead or whatever. So we've never really taken that for granted. It's quite a special scene in Melbourne, especially.
Yeah. So as a band then in Australia, have you like ventured out of the country? Have you gone to Japan, New Zealand, anything like that?
2011 we did a fairly extensive sort of Australian tour. Not all the shows were great, but it was great. We got to sort of every state, territory, and we ventured over to New Zealand for a show or two, and we've kind of been meaning to sort of venture out. We I think in the last maybe 10 years, I think have made the sort of conscious decision to sort of spend time on family, career, and just fit the band in where it works, and we really still do give it everything we've got and treat it like a world-class band, but touring is something that's just been a little bit for the future version of us when things ease up a little. We were quite along the way of having a Japanese an Asian tour sort of preliminary booked in time-wise for 2020, but then it all sort of fell apart, and we got busy after that, so I'd like to venture a lot further out on the support of this one. It feels like the time's a lot more right, so not as much as we would have liked to after this point.
Never say never. So I mean, you release Beyond Death on the 27th. How are you feeling about that, and are you hoping you're going to beat like the 20k mark with that? Well,
believe me, I looked at the tags I put in the previous video and the description and the so I've tried to match the meta shit as much as I can. But song wise, personally, I probably am even more of a fan of the second song we're releasing. It's the first one. We really want to put out something that is indicative of kind of a summary of our history. We were predominantly a thrash band. We've got very heavy death metal influences, and I think the previous song, Numb to Paradise, really encapsulates all that. But Beyond Death was one of the few songs that drummer Mark wrote first, and it is potentially the heaviest song on the album, but it's strange. Some of the timings are weird. Some of the structure is a little bit more off the wall in kind of a way that your Morbid Angel would do, where it's not your conventional, verse, chorus, etc. So for me, this one's got some of the highlights of the whole album. It's probably the one, it was my first pick for a video. We're very excited to see how it's received. I'm quite confident anyone that loved our previous track will dig this one too. It's not miles away, but it is a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more experimental in terms of songwriting and structure. So I'm super pumped. And the video we shot, I've got a sort of regional couple of acres up here in central Victoria, and we have this dam, and the dam almost completely dried out, so we've sort of filmed it in there. Lit a few fires. The fires are nowhere near as big as we hoped because the wood was kind of wet. We're trying to get the light. I almost caught a jerry can on fire. It was it wasn't the smoothest, but just having a bit of my place in the video, and that being part of the identity is cool too. So really excited.
Cool. So how would you describe this album then in a couple of words?
It's very authentic. It's very dark. It's extremely it's kind of monolithic. It's extremely heavy, not just songwriting wise, but sonically. Everything feels big and monumental. There's a gigantic sort of bass low end element to it. Yeah, and it's got this tangible sense of evil that I'm really proud of, and it just feels like a big slab of evil, memorable, and authentic death thrash metal. It's probably the way I would describe it for someone that's never heard us before. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. So, what feeling did you want the album cover to portray? I mean, punch people in the guts and then actually listen to Profound Darkness? Is that what you want in?
So yeah, I painted the album cover. I've done most of the covers except for
wow.
It's something I've always loved. I've always drawn, painted, and
amazing.
Thank you. I feel like my skills have maybe progressed as you see our albums, because our first one, is a bit shit, and it's gotten better since.
Right.
And but yeah, with this last one, well, the whole album is, deals with different forms that the afterlife could take and explores the story. So for me, it was just sort of trying to capture one vision of what the afterlife could look like. And I did want something that was kind of immediately, that would draw you in and just had a sense of the evil that I feel like matches the album. So it took a few iterations. The first couple were a little bit more, I don't know, there was like a light green sort of spiritualness to it. And then through a few versions, I put it through a blood red filter, drew some harrowing sort of demon eyes in the background. I wanted it to look like a vision of hell and kind of feel a little bit more infernal. So, I guess it's supposed to be, like a kind of vision of hell that will draw your listener to go in and explore the journey more. So it's got like a pathway that leads through the scene. I would hope that would pull someone in to very cautiously find out more about, where this is going to lead.
Excellent. So have you done like many tours with like bands like Diocide? Has that ever happened, or would that be a dream for you? That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Absolute dream come true. We've been very lucky to do a lot of support shows here in Melbourne, and a couple in our other states as well. We've played with some of my all-time favorites. We did Possessed was most recently. That was incredible. We played with Triumph for Death, Celtic Frost, with Tom Warrior. We've just done so many. As a huge list of bands that I feel so lucky to have supported. But no, we've never jumped into a bus and spent time on the road with some of these bands. Our other guitarist, Lee Bartley, plays also in Harlot, who's a Metal Blade signed band. And they've done a heap of extensive tours, in Europe, etc. So he's had a lot more of that experience than the rest of us have. But yeah, it's something I would love to do. It's sort of bucket list for me.
Excellent. So your reputation for destructive live shows is legendary. What's the most unhinged moment then that still sticks with you?
For us, it was probably we had a very intimate show booked for this live DVD recording that we did in 2014 called Visions of Live Destruction, and we booked a fairly small venue, maybe holds 250. It's called the Bendigo Hotel here in Melbourne. It's one of our favourites. Something about our Melbourne crowd, they especially at that point, they were quite sort of wild and feverish. And I think there's something about knowing the cameras were on. We sort of played this first song, and man, the place just blew up, and the wedges were getting pushed onto the stage. And I just remember that first song, just going, "Wow, this is a whole different level." They don't have any crazy stories, but it's just something about the energy in a small room like that with people that know and love your music. It's pretty special. So for me, that was still just a bit of a wow moment. This is pretty ferocious. You have your crowd surfers everywhere. The roof's small, so some of the skinnier guys getting pasted onto the roof as well. So, and I got food poisoning on that same show. I ate some bad Thai just before, and
not good.
I said to myself, if this is either going to go one or two ways, I'm either going to throw up, in the middle of the set, and at least it'll be captured by 9 cameras and immortalized. But I held it to the very end and then threw up in the day after the show. So
horrendous. So you have got like a die-hard fan base over there in Melbourne, yeah? What's the one value you refuse to compromise on then? I mean, is there something you would never do, like release a ballad?
I think more than anything else, like this band for me, it's a I don't know, an exploration of my creativity, which I take quite seriously. It's I always want to do things that resonate with me personally. The band does well enough financially to support itself, but it's not something I do to, you know, pay the bills of my family or anything like that. So for me, if it's not if it doesn't feel authentic to the music I want to create, or that resonates with me and the rest of the band as a collective, then I'd rather just do something else. So for me, I think authenticity has always been at the forefront of what we do, and always will be. There might be a time where writing, you know, a certain style of ballad will work for us, but it wouldn't be with the I don't know, with the intent of you know, expecting it to appeal to some audience. It'd be because at that point in time a ballad just felt right. But I think with the nature of my natural singing voice, it's probably not on the horizon anytime soon, and it's likely to stay extremely heavy, at least for the very near future. But yeah, I wouldn't say no to anything that felt right or the guys wanted to try, that we all, you know, brought to the table from a very just genuine standpoint, I think.
So your favourite 6 albums and why?
These are the ones I picked. Number 1, I picked Vital Remains, Icons of Evil. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's it's just I still haven't found anything heavier. I know there's your grindcore and there's all sorts of brutal death metal, but for me, Icons of Evil, even more than Dechristianize, is just so goddamn intense. The way the vocals are relentless, the riffs themselves. Dave Suzuki does the drums and the guitar, and he plays like an absolute inhuman machine on both. But I just keep coming back to that album, so that's one. I won't spend ages on each one.
That's fine.
We're here forever. Another is Testament's The Gathering. That one I just attribute to my vocal style. It was probably the first really heavy album I fell in love with back in the day. Still my favourite Testament record. I learned to sing to that album with Chuck Billy in the car, and you know, pausing at traffic lights so I don't look like a complete lunatic. The third, unoriginally, is Slayer's Rain in Blood. If I'm having a bad day and I just want to turn something up so loud, that album is just an immortal piece of distilled, you know, minimalized thrash goodness. I don't know how they pick that many, fit that many like crazy dynamic shifts and riffs that just stand the test of time. Lyrics are amazing, cover art's amazing, Tom's delivery is amazing, just everything. It's perfect. Fourth, I chose Triptychon's Melana Chasmata. I don't speak Latin, but it's the latest Triptychon, Triptychon album. I love their first 2. I loved Celtic Frost Monotheist as well, but that sort of late era of Tom G. Warrior's vibe, it just that's got the sort of darkness that I've been aiming to achieve in the last few albums of ours. And yeah, I just love everything about it. I first got it, turned the lights off, listened to the whole thing start to finish in the dark, and I'm still in love with that. I think it's great. Hanging for the next one. Beyond that, I've chosen Bloodbath's The Fathomless Mastery.
Brilliant,
I love all things Bloodbath. They've got, I would say, a flawless catalogue. Something about that one, Ackerfeld's vocals sound incredible. It's got a great mix of technicality, but just it's brutal, it's clean. Love the riffs, love the solos. I was listening to it today before I wrote this list, and I thought that's going on. And finally, I've just put the very first Deicide album. Actually had that on today too. I'm a school teacher, and I was behind on my planning, and I needed to get shit done really fast, so had that on the headphones. I got a shitload done. That one's their best as far as I'm concerned. It's raw, but the high shrieks with his low vocals, it's just got a presence to it, and it's a little bit off the wall. The recording's perfect for the era. I love it. This one I found a bit trickier. I'm stuck in a lift. It's probably, I'm going to want something to calm me down or get me through the time, and I'm not going to be able to listen to extreme metal from start to finish for 24 hours. So I started with the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, especially your Shire music. That's my, if I need to get through something and I need a way to be calm, that gets me in the soul every time. Then I picked, I wasn't specific. I said something by Cryptopsy or Nile, maybe like For Whom the Gods Detest, because I love music like that where sometimes I'll fall asleep to it as well. It's like your brain will just like go on a journey with it and you'll follow different instruments. And if I want to be somewhere else, as in not an elevator, it's the perfect kind of music to do it, I think. So, I'll go They Who the Gods Detest or something similar for that. Okay. I picked something fun. I chose Intergalactic by Beastie Boys.
Right. Okay.
got two young sons that are all about that in the car at the moment, so that one just popped into my head. And the rest of these are kind of random. I said Maze of Torment by Morbid Angel for no real reason.
Right.
I was like, what would I listen to? Pretend I had a CD player that was in there. Yeah. And then something by Zeppelin. They got the perfect mix of laid back and again, will take you on a journey. I picked Immigrant Song, but I don't know, could have been almost anything. And by the same token, I went with anything by Creedence. I listen to Creedence all the time. I don't feel like listening to like metal. I'll put something like that on, especially while you're driving. So I put Feeling Blue on there, but I could have picked just about anything.
So the first one is: do you prefer a festival or a sweat-soaked intimate gig?
Good question. I'm gonna say sweat-soaked intimate gig. Most of my gigging experience have been like that. But then I was at Wacken in Germany in 2010, and it was still the greatest 3 days I can remember. So the right kind of festival. I've changed my mind. I'm just going to go festival every time. Something about the atmosphere. Everyone's on the same page. You're just there to have a great time with thousands of people. It's hard to beat.
Amazing. It really is. It really is. Okay. 100%. Do you prefer mosh pit carnage or head down headbanging?
I sort of like to go for the mosh pit carnage, but I like to plant a spot in amongst it and then just get my head banging in there. So a bit of both. But I'm much more of a headbanger than I do love a good crowd surf, but I don't know, it hurts more when you fall these days. I'm 42.
Well, I used to have hair. I can't really headbang anymore.
Mine's not far off going either.
All right. Do you prefer beer-soaked chaos or sober precision?
For while we're playing, no, I like to skirt in between. I'm good for 3, maybe 4 beers before we play, and I really love that buzz, just that loosen up sort of. I don't know, it just gets your inner animal just just slightly out of its cage, but you can still play your guitar. So no, I love having a few beers before we play, but I do take what we do seriously, so you need to find that sweet spot. I've definitely gone beyond that a few times and learned where that sweet spot is, but enough to perform, but enough to cut loose at the same time.
Cool. What about tour exhaustion or studio madness?
I love studio madness. Tour exhaustion, I love the we haven't done much extensive touring, but I love jumping in a car for 10 hours with the guys in the band. We're really close mates, and so the trip itself is usually part of the fun. And I love the actual playing of the show as well. But I'm very into audio production. I'm a big nerd about pulling sounds and seeing songs that you've written sort of come to life. So of the two, it's tough, but I'm going to choose studio. I got a small side business where I'm recording and mixing bands as well. So I'm very passionate about the creation side of the whole thing. So if I had to choose, I'll go with that. But you sort of can't have one without the other either. It's a balance.
Okay. Do you prefer a koala or a kangaroo?
We're lucky enough to have like droves of kangaroos that come up to the front lawn, so I'm going to go with that. We live very closely with them. Don't get to see as many koalas. They feel exotic to me, but but I probably prefer an echidna over all of them. They're super rare, and they're my favourite.
So you don't go out boxing with the kangaroos now?
Nah, mate. They got big muscles and bigger claws, so I give them a respectful distance.
All right, so the final question: if there was a song made up about your personality, what would it be called? Like a made-up song?
That's a tough one on the spot. Give me 10 seconds. I'll see if I can come up with something fresh as on. Well, it'd be something to do with me like trading sleep to do what I love and trying to make everything work and kind of failing at everything all at the same time. So, yeah, I can't put that into a single title, but that'd be the gist of it.
All right, but Insomniac with goals. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
I always like to say a very big thank you. We're lucky enough to have maintained enough excitement and passion for it ourselves to keep doing this after 5 years. After 5 albums, sorry, it's been about 25 years. So yeah, that's in no small part thanks to people that listen to our music, sort of come out to shows, buy our stuff, but just be part of the overall excitement, and that extends to people like you that help us get out there and share the excitement with us. So yeah, it's a very big, genuine thank you to everyone that's listening to this and it's part of what we do.